No one asked for it, but I brought it back anyway. Actually, that's not strictly true. My friend was asking about these videos the other week and he said he liked them. And if one person likes them, that's okay with me. I've added another category. I kind of figured you've probably got some time for a film these days. So there's now 6 categories, and that's books, film, YouTube, podcast, app, and thing. So you're locked in, you've got some extra time on your hands. Maybe you're still working, but no more commute. Are you hating it? If you are, hopefully some of these things will help you, along the lockdown. I tried to think of things that are useful or fun, but also educational, because I think it's important not to bury your head in the sand at times like this. It might not be the same way for everyone, but I found that being informed can turn anxiety into routine. An interesting thing that I heard the other day, someone said in an interview about what's going on at the moment, you don't get in a panic when you put your seatbelt on. Your seatbelt is routine, and you don't think about the things that could happen if you're not wearing it. Think about that for a second. Hopefully that doesn't make you start panicking when you put a seatbelt on. So first up, book. A Girl Called Jack by Jack Monroe. Film is Where to Invade Next by Michael Moore. The app is iWriter Pro for either the Mac or the iPad, or iOS, whatever. YouTube is Vox. Podcast is Reply All. Things is Rope and Steel. So I've listed them all out at the start. I didn't used to do that. I used to go through it, but my watch time's down. This might promote low watch time, but I figured if some people are only watching the beginning, at least they're getting the value. I'm gonna go and explain in a little bit more depth why I've chosen these things, so hopefully you'll stick around. So the book, one of the things I've been focused on is making sure I get good food every day. I don't ever really eat out or get takeaways of my own choice, so I do end up cooking a lot. And at the moment I'm really keen on not going shopping because of the current situation, trying to go as infrequently as possible. So I'm looking at quite a lot of store cupboard items. So I'm imagining a lot of you are thinking like store cupboard items when you're cooking, with times potentially being tough, incomes are taking a hit and things aren't quite as easy as they have been. Jack Monroe's got this really interesting backstory. I'm not going to go into it in depth right now, but you could, just go and Google her and have a little read yourself. But she knows her stuff when it comes to cooking on a budget. So my particular favourites in this book are the aubergine not meatballs, the vegan banana bread, chickpea and tomato best brunch loaf, and love soup. And one of the things I really like about this book is how it does away with the classic recipe book bullshit. You won't be left feeling that you can't make substitutions, and some of the recipes call for things like tinned potatoes, which is not really the standard fare for, your average cookbook. This is kind of like food to keep you alive, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't taste good. I love how straightforward it is to make food that is good, inexpensive, and will make you feel pretty good. For most people, getting good food will help to not only keep you physically healthy, but it will also keep you mentally healthy. So go check out that book. I've linked to it in the description. And the film. So this is Where to Invade Next by Michael Moore. I've always been a film lover, but as I've gotten older, I've seen my preferences change from fiction to factual. And this one's been on my list for a while. And I am a big fan of Michael Moore's filmmaking. I know that he divides people in a big way, but I like to stay open-minded. I tend to seek out ideas that I disagree with, and I would encourage you to do so too. This is a pretty good starter film to get you into Moore's filmmaking style and his politics. He basically travels around to a couple of countries under the premise that he's invading them to take something of theirs back to America. The twist is the things that he wants to take from them are ideas, good, strong socialist ideas at that. It's a little dated, and I think that the ideas that he looked at might have actually fallen by the wayside in recent years, but it doesn't change what it says about America and capitalism. Moore does a really good job at getting across difficult ideas using comedy. He manages to play this like simpleton character as an interview sort of technique, but he clearly really knows what he's talking about when it matters. The app, iWriter Pro for Mac or iOS. A lot of people have got a lot more time at home at the moment, and that probably means not being able to do things that you'd normally be doing. So what do you do with your time? There's only so much bread you can bake, especially if you've never done it before. Are you sick of shit loaves yet? One of the ways to get your ideas out there, and the one with the lowest barrier to entry, is the written word. I love writing, but most of my writing goes unseen. The words that I'm speaking right now were written down as a script. And when I'm writing, I struggle with concentrating on what I'm writing when I use like a regular word processing program. Do people still say word processing program? No, probably not. There's something to be said for the aesthetic of your work environment. I think this is one of the reasons why I tend towards sticking with macOS, because I think it just kind of looks nicer. I see a lot of people kind of setting their desk up and setting their work environment up in like a really beautiful way, but then they're using like crappy looking programs. And that's where this app comes in. You can full screen this app, you can choose the background color and the font, but only from a small list of different settings. So you don't get bogged down in like putting it all together and making sure it's all set up beforehand. It's also got some really interesting features built in, like a typewriter setting where it keeps all the words that you're typing in the center of the screen, or the focus setting where you can choose to dim words you've already written, keeping you focused on that, current paragraph or sentence. I love writing with this app, and it's only $4.99 on the App Store. Well worth it if you plan to get some writing done during lockdown. But even if you want to make some great videos, getting your ideas written down and out of your brain is a great way to go. And that leads me on to YouTube. I absolutely love YouTube, and I love how it spans all sorts of genres, from pure entertainment to tutorials and reviews, and well beyond that. One of the most interesting things for me of late has been science communication and news. Vox is one of my favourite channels, but in particular at the moment, they're doing this sensible and calm coverage of the science and economics behind the sort of COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. Well worth having a look at to get you better informed about the situation. Podcast. Reply All is my all-time favourite podcast. There have been other close contenders over the years, but Reply All is my one true love. When it comes to podcasts, that is. It's a technology podcast that deals with the fringes and the weirdness of the internet. My favourite episode is actually one of the newer ones. It's the hunt for a song that might not exist. PJ and Alex, the hosts, get a call to their super tech support line from a guy who's had this earworm for a song from the 90s that no one seems to know and doesn't seem to exist. The subsequent investigation is really interesting and serves as a look at how the modern world works. Fair warning, Katie gets a little bit scared about some of the topics they cover, like is Facebook recording everything you say? And I get that, but I love learning about how the internet works, and it's well worth checking out. If you don't get to every episode, make sure you check out the one about the guy's earworm. And finally, the thing that I'm loving is, it's kind of a little bit unfair to share this, but I really wanted to shout it out. It's actually a custom camera strap from Rope and Steel. They make leads for big, strong dogs, but James kindly made me this custom camera strap, and I absolutely love it. But with walking your dog being one of the only reasons for getting out of the house these days, it might be worth investing in one of these if you've got a dog, especially if you've got a big one. So go check Rope and Steel out. So everything from this video will be linked in the description. I know that times are pretty shit for a lot of you at the moment. I know my work has slowed down, and this channel doesn't actually bring in much money at all. But if you do use the links to buy any of these, especially the ones from Amazon, I get a little kickback, and that really helps me to keep making videos. It doesn't cost you any extra, so it's kind of win-win. But even if you can't buy any of the things that I've spoken about, maybe just check out the free ones, and maybe it'd mean a lot to me if you'd like and subscribe to this channel, and maybe go and head over to Instagram and follow me over there. I put quite a lot of work into these videos, and it would be great just to get some comments from you guys. Let me know if this is the kind of thing that you enjoy, if this is what I should carry on doing, or if I should just stop. No big deal. I'll see you in the next one.